Mental strength is not just an abstract concept or a motivational phrase. It's a direct reflection of how your brain adapts under pressures. At the core of this adaptation is neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself based on what you repeatedly do, think, and feel. Every time you push yourself to stay focused during discomfort, every time you override the urge to quit or react emotionally, you're engaging the machinery of neuroplasticity. The brain isn't static. It's malleable. It's constantly learning which neural pathways to strengthen and which to prune based on repeated exposure and behavioral reinforcement. When we talk about mental toughness, we're not referring to some innate trait you either have or don't have. We're talking about a biological process, neurons firing together, synapses strengthening, and feedback loops reinforcing patterns. For example, if you consistently choose to confront challenges rather than avoid them, your brain lays down stronger networks in the prefrontal cortex, an area responsible for decision making, emotional regulation, and impulse control. That's not just mindset. That's circuitry. The more you operate from this circuit, the more reflexive it becomes. Eventually, handling pressure becomes a default, not a debate. Stress, discomfort, and adversity act like a neurological gym. They provide resistance that your mind learns to lift. And just like in physical training, the principle of progressive overload applies here too. If you expose yourself to small, intentional amounts of stress, getting up at 5 a.m., sitting with silence instead of dopamine, scrolling, finishing a mentally taxing task when you'd rather quit, you send a signal to your nervous system that discomfort is a space for growth, not danger. Over time, this rewires your response to difficulty. Instead of activating circuits of fear and withdrawal, you activate circuits of focus, courage, and clarity. But neuroplasticity works both ways. If you avoid hard conversations, skip the workout every time it's inconvenient, or give in to distraction at the first sign of boredom, your brain wires itself for avoidance, comfort, and low resilience. That becomes your new baseline. Mental weakness isn't the absence of strength. It's the accumulation of conditioned retreat. The good news is that this process is reversible. The brain doesn't care whether you're building strength or weakness. It just follows the patterns you feed it. Each decision is a signal, each action a vote, each repetition a reprogramming tool that shapes what your future mind will automatically do under pressure. Your mental and emotional state in any given moment is not random. It's biological, measurable, and trainable. What most people don't realize is that the brain doesn't operate in isolation. It's in constant dialogue with the body. That dialogue creates your state. A real-time combination of your heart rate, breathing rhythm, muscular tension, hormone levels, and patterns of neural activation. And this state governs your behavior. It influences how you perceive stress, how you respond to setbacks, how well you focus, and how confident you feel in critical moments. If your internal state is reactive, tight breathing, rapid heartbeat, narrowed vision, slouched posture, then your nervous system interprets the world as a threat. You start making decisions from fear rather than clarity, from survival rather than growth. But here's the shift. The systems responsible for creating those states, your autonomic nervous system, your brainstem arousal centers, your vagus nerve, can all be influenced by specific behaviors. That means you can train yourself to shift your state before it hijacks your decisions. You can interrupt anxiety with controlled breath work. You can counter tunnel vision by widening your gaze and stabilizing your head position. You can override self-doubt by changing your vocal tone, facial expression, or even your rate of speech. One of the most powerful tools for regulating state is the breath. Fast, shallow breathing signals panic to the brain. Slow, diaphragmatic breathing, especially with a longer exhale than inhale, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and clears the mind. In moments of pressure, 2 minutes of intentional breathing can reset your physiology entirely. But it's not just about calm. State control also includes how you upregulate into focus and drive. Forward movement, literally walking with deliberate pace, can increase the release of norepinephrine and dopamine, neurochemicals that support alertness and motivation. Posture and movement matter too. Standing upright, elongating the spine, opening the chest. These actions activate neural feedback that shifts your brain into a more alert, confident state. Yeah, you are constantly sending data to your brain about what kind of situation you're in based on your physical signals. When you train yourself to master those inputs, you stop waiting for motivation and start generating it. This is where real strength begins, not in your thoughts, but in the state you train your body and brain to enter under challenge. It's the foundation of discipline, presence, and peak performance. Focus is not just a matter of personal discipline or good habits. It's a powerful neurological mechanism that determines what you learn, what you become, and ultimately how far you go. The human brain is constantly processing massive amounts of information, but attention acts like a spotlight, selecting what gets amplified and what gets ignored. This selection process is not random. It's directed by specific brain systems, primarily the prefrontal cortex, which governs goal-directed behavior, and the locus coeruleus, which releases norepinephrine, a neurochemical that sharpens alertness and signals importance. When you focus intensely on something, your brain tags it as meaningful, creating deeper synaptic changes and stronger memory traces. That's the mechanism of growth. You grow where your attention lies. The challenge in modern life is that we're in an attention economy. Every app, ad, and notification is engineered to hijack your focus. The dopamine system in your brain is being constantly baited with novelty and immediate rewards. If you don't actively train your ability to hold sustained focus, your brain becomes wired for distraction.